Well, hi everybody. I hope you're all doing great. And I decided to do a movie before midnight, or not a movie, a video before midnight. Uh, and I wrote this all down yesterday, what I was going to read on, but it's almost like I was writing down what was in the news today. So I'm going to look back here over my notes from yesterday. I wanted to talk about if they don't put some kind of relief plan through to keep these people from getting evicted, there could be as many, and this is just a little lower than some of the estimates, as 40 million people, 40 million out on the streets in the next 2 months. So before I even heard anything today about Donald Trump wanting to postpone the election, that's what I thought was behind this, from the Republicans dragging their feet on there. I thought, I'm so amazed that a bunch of Republicans from the Senate hadn't already jumped ship, because they know it's sinking. So I kept thinking, well, what do they know that the rest of us don't know? Are they going to help him keep from having an election? Are they going to push this back? All this stuff just kind of goes through your mind when you're in a meditative state. And I was trying to picture with them slowing the mail down like they've been doing, and of course that gives them another 100 days to wreck it more. Not quite 100 days, but close to it. And already putting their troops out in these cities to stop any kind of uprising. And then if they end up throwing 40 million people out on the street during this pandemic, that could be chaos. And another thing, I don't know if you remember how they worked in the Indian nations the last election, but they weren't even letting a lot of the Indians vote because they didn't have a street address. They just had a reservation address. And that's been changed, from what I understand. They went through and gave everybody on the reservation a literal home address, so they couldn't get away with that this time. But what's going to happen if there's 40 million people who are going to be poor people, who are going to be voting Democratic, and they're out on the street with no addresses, and even if they get their ballots before they literally get kicked out, if they want to come back and contest this election, they could, it's just more fuel for the fire. It's ridiculous, but it's more fuel for the fire. And also, because of the pandemic, that could, no telling what that could cause. That could cause so much death in the streets that nobody would even want to go out in the streets. So, like I said, I was going to talk about this before our American Pride Dick came on today and started talking about postponing the election or shoving it back or something. And like, all these Republicans, the first time Biden mentioned that many, many months ago, all the Republican pundits were saying, oh, how stupid he is. Nobody could ever do that and blah, blah, blah. And now he's trying to do it. And of course, a couple of them are coming out and saying that won't work now, but what's going to happen to them? Because if this election goes through, they're going to lose their seats too. They're going to lose the Senate, and they know that. So are they going to jump right in and be part of this? And, the House and the Senate would have to pass this, but anyway, I don't trust any of them. But anyway, that was going through my head. And, and I was going to remind everybody that they were slowing the post office down, but now it's been on the news all day. And the first question I was going to read on is, why are the rats still on the ship? Because normally they'd be off of it by now, because they know he's going down. So why are they still there? What do they know that we don't know? Is this plan? Is this from the more notes I took yesterday? You know, is it the Heritage Foundation? I mean, who's behind this? Who's behind this? There may be a lot of people behind this, because they do not want to give up that power, and they're trying to take over our democracy. I know I've had people that I've loved all my life and stuff that's kind of thought that I've been out in crazy land on this, and maybe wouldn't be the first time. My son used to always call me the crazy woman, crazy lady. I thought with love, but now that we're the older he gets, now I'm beginning to wonder if he was, if he really feels that way. But anyway, just what's going. It's gonna read and see if we can figure out what's going on here. I don't know what my phone's doing up here. Let me lay my phone over here. It's gonna read and see if we can find out what's going on here. And the first question is going to be, why aren't the rats jumping the ship? Whatever. Why aren't these Republicans coming out and starting to say, oh, I'm not really that close to Trump, or I didn't really always think he was the smartest or the brightest or the best. They know they're going down with the ship if there's actually an election. So why are they not already jumping the ship? Why aren't they trying to put Pence in there? Why aren't they trying to do all kinds of things they could be doing in the predicament they're in right now with the polls? And no matter how much Trump screams that the polls aren't right, we know that they're right. They were right for Hillary Clinton. It's just, if it wouldn't been for the Electoral College, she got almost 3 million more votes. And that's exactly what the polls were saying, how far she was ahead. They just didn't realize how stupid the Democrats were not to go in there and cover those states that they should have been covering. So anyway, excuse me for saying how stupid the Democrats are, but I was listening to that Democratic platform today, and it is ridiculous. It's a good thing that Biden is running against Trump, because if he was running against anybody else, there's no way he could beat him. And I want him, believe me, vote blue no matter who. I'm not picking on anybody, but they're against legalizing pot. In the middle of the pandemic, they're against Medicare for all. What else was it? There was 2 or 3 other things that are just totally ridiculous. Even if how are all these people out in the street going to be able to afford to pay for Obamacare? I couldn't have paid for Obamacare, and I even owned my own home, which, I'd had so many years the payments were really low before I got on Social Security. So what the F? Where are they coming from? It doesn't make any sense to me. I didn't expect them to go way to the left, but I didn't expect them to be moderate Republicans. And that's what they are. The Democratic Party's gone so far right. It's just it's a Republican Party. That's why all these people that are doing these good ads against Trump, the Lincoln Society or whoever it is, they already figured that all they'd have to do is just vote for the Democrat Republican and put both their other guys in there, and they'd have a good Republican Party. So anyway, that's how I feel about it. But the first thing I'm going to read on are, why are the rats still on this ship? I'm going to be quiet. This has been bothering me so bad. I've been laying awake nights, and then today, the first thing I do when I turn on the TV is hear Trump wants to postpone the election. So I thought, oh, okay, well, that's what you were going to read on. But it would have been nicer if I did it 2 days ago. It would have looked like better. Oh. And he's giving speeches about it, I guess. Part of my TV setup was broke, and I wasn't hearing regular news, but I seen that on YouTube. The man is effing crazy. Just fat crap crazy. And because He's sowing fear. It's the last stand for the white men, for the old white men in the country, and they're trying to pull anything out of their ass they can. And I'm not talking bad about them. It's just, it's time we had a real democracy, no matter what color we are. So, why aren't the Republicans jumping ship? I hope. Well, this is the Signifier. They all know they're screwed. They got the Ten of Swords right in their back. They know there's no way they're going to win re-election. That's why. Just that kind of answers what I was asking. But let's see what else comes up in here. Most of them are getting offers from where I don't know. I don't know if it's many offers from the people with all the money that are in control of this coup, or what. But they're getting some offers, and they're not sure if they want them or not. Maybe not sure. They just want to really jump in there and take over our government. You know, in the long run, you probably have to have another revolution. But that would be treason. The foundation is a magician. But he's upside down. So they're wondering, could Trump really pull him out of this shit? Could he really pull this off? That's why they're not sure they're going to accept this offer to follow him down this rabbit hole. Even though a lot of them are saying right now, oh, no, we won't go there. Well, wait and watch. They don't want to lose their power either. And if they postpone the election, they don't get voted out either, do they? So, okay, here we go. They're not sure whether they're going to accept this offer yet. They don't have really quite enough faith in Trump to think he can pull this off. But if he don't pull it off, then they're all out in the cold. Maybe some of them could backtrack if they start doing it right now. They're still standing their ground, and it's not easy for them anymore because they know they're losing, but they're still standing their ground. In the recent past they have been. Got the Hermit in the sky over this reading, and they're really looking for some way to pull this off. They're trying to figure it out, but yet they just can't see how it could totally work for them. But if they could get enough chaos going on by throwing all these people out on the street, and 80 or 90% of them being sick, the hospitals being overrun where they couldn't take them in, maybe even dead people laying in the street, if they wanted to really cause all this horrible chaos and not put some kind of something through to help these people that are going to get evicted, they're looking into it. They're looking to see if they could get away with it, and they know it's wrong. That's why this card's upside down too. There's going to be something coming out about this in the near future. That it's not just the plan of a crazy man, that there's been some talking about this behind the scenes already. We got the Page of Swords. Definitely something coming out about this. This isn't something that just popped up today. There's been a plan in place all the way through, and it looks like there might be a spy in the camp. Sometimes this is a spy in the camp. Because they're wondering if they can make this deal and get away with it. Here's the dealing card, the Two of Cups. A lot of them have already talked to other people about this. How did we get so many unprincipled stuff into the Republican Party? Unprincipled people. And believe me, they're in the Democrat too, the ones that are taking all that corporate money. That's why they don't want any Medicare, don't want anything else. They're covering big pharma even with the legalizing marijuana stuff. They want to make sure they can wait till they can get their hands in and take control of it all. Anyway, I don't want to go back there. But for why they have not jumping ships, is they're kind of thinking about making deals with Trump. The environment around that is going to be pretty tough. It's like they're just going to have to can they even sell this to their voters, which wouldn't make any difference if they're not going to get to vote anyway, but everybody's going to turn against them. They're going to know that they're being bullies and they're being stupid and that they're backing the wrong person, so they know they're going to lose any respect or popularity they've ever had in their life if they try to pull this off with him. Their fears is that somebody's going to find out that a lot of them's been taking their marching orders the same place Trump has been taking his from the people overseas like Putin that they all went to visit. I think it was a couple of 4th of Julys ago. They don't want this truth coming out, and that's another thing besides just postponing the election and not losing their seat. That way they wouldn't have to answer for anything. So we got the King of Swords here. That's William Barr, but he's upside down. Of course, he's been upside down ever since he got into this back end of government. But he's upside down, but he's right in the middle of it. Him and Putin. Not that Putin's in charge of this, but he's telling them how to do it, even if he doesn't think they can get away with it. I don't think he thinks they can really pull it off. But he's laughing about it while he's telling them what to do. Got them running around taking orders from him. And that's Barr, Pompeo, the whole damn bunch of them. And this will not work if the people stick together, if they really hold together and don't let them do it. But you know what? There might be a lot of people that aren't out in the streets already because they've been thrown out there that might have to go out and do everything they can to keep this from going through. I don't know. You're going to have to get some real organizers in there. This next 3 or 4 months is just going to be a total fight for our democracy, one way or the other. And I've known this has been coming, and it's been really hard to come up out of the pits of where my mind is. And like I said, I hate to sound like a doubtful Debbie or whatever they call them. But I just can see the people winning. But they're going to have to be ready. They're not going to have to just talk about this. They're going to have their plans in place. Otherwise, they're going to be out in the cold, more so than we are already. So we've got to be prepared for this. We've got to be ready for this. We've got to know that we're being manipulated. And we need to send them all off. Send them all out of there. Send them away. So I don't know if that answered why they haven't left the ship yet, because they're thinking about staying on that ship, no matter how much they want to shipwreck our whole government. That's why they haven't left. So the next question was going to be, are they in on this plan to take over and cancel the election? They're not in. I don't think they're in on it right now, but let's see. Are the Republicans in on it? Are the main leaders and the main ones that are We just seen that they were, but let's look one more time. Are the Republicans in on this? We know why they haven't deserted it yet, because they still think there just might be, this magician in charge might be able to, the magic man in charge, the circus clown, Barnum and Bailey's, whatever. They're thinking maybe he can pull this out of the hat some way. But let's see if there's some in on this stuff that he came up with today. I'm going to do a quick one. In the past, they were figuring they were just going to win. Right now, they know this Queen of Cups energy, this strong energy. They know they don't have a chance in hell that they're gonna win this election legally. So that's what's going on with them now. The challenge is they want to stay out of jail. Some of them, they're afraid they'll end up getting prosecuted before this is over. They're so far down the dark side. And then we got, for the future, the women toasting. So maybe some of them might back him, but all of them's not going to back him. They're not going to get behind this. Not all of them. And even if all of them got behind him, they would still have to be able to do this legally, they'd have to have the House involved. But so far they did a whole hell of a lot without the House involved, and everybody thinks Nancy's such a genius. So they just think she's gonna, take care of everything, when I can't hardly ever see her even taking care of anything. Even that impeachment, they should have been a lot more counts against him instead of what they brought him up on. But anyway, that's just my feeling. And like I said, we all have our feelings. So they just need some younger people in there. And they need not to make it such a sin if the Democratic Party always doesn't march to the same tune and step at the same time. That's what a party's about, to have different ideas and different energy coming from both directions. And they try to make it like it's such a sin if you don't believe just exactly like the progressive, like all the corporate Democrats think. They all got their finger in that pot, and they've all been in there for 100 years, and they all need to go and get some new blood in there. But anyway, right now we just got to get Trump out of there. So remember, vote blue no matter who. But that's not going to make me keep my mouth shut forever. Anybody's better than Trump. And anybody's better than the Republicans they've got in there now. Maybe they can, if they kick all these out of office and some of them get back in next term, maybe they'll get some that's got some higher morals and higher standards. Well, I already answered that too. It says, my third question was going to be, are they terrified they'll be in jail? Some of them probably are. That just came out in that last reading, so we don't have to read that again. So, I never know how long I've been talking, so I'm going to jump up and turn this video off, and I'm going to turn it back on and do one for the month of Trump this next month. What's going on with our dear leader? Oh, it almost makes me cringe to say that. I can't believe these people. I can't believe these people. But anyway, If you want a personal reading, it's lynntarotreading@gmail.com. lynntarotreadings@gmail.com. Slip me an email and I'll get back with you. I've already did 3 or 4 readings since my last video that I had people get a hold of me, and they were fun. So anyway, I love you all and good evening. This is something to get through with. I usually don't even start a video till midnight, and I started this about 6 o'clock, so this is wonderful. So goodbye everybody, and I hope you're doing good, and send out prayers for all these people that might be getting evicted in a couple of days. I mean, I imagine the nation's head is, I'm going to be nice. I was going to say some bad words, but anyway, you know how hard he got last time he was throwing everybody out of their house, and he loved that, and he's always said that was the most fun he ever had in his life, and now he's in charge of all this stuff. So anyway, more good news. I love y'all, and I'm going to come back and do a reading on Trump. Bye bye now.